You are listening to Star Nations Radio Network. Communications from home on Blog Talk Radio. Welcome to The Tarot Journey with Julie Hedges on the Star Nations Radio Network.
Good evening, everyone. Welcome to this very special night on the Tarot Journey. I am your show host, Julie Hedges, and I am beyond excited to bring you this show. We have a night of music and the mysteries planned, an exclusive interview with an international star on the devotional world music scene. We have live music for you tonight from our special guest. We also have giveaways. We are giving away autographed photos and 4 CD albums tonight to all you listeners. So a great big warm welcome to those in the chat room and those on the phone lines tonight. And to those who are listening to the archive, thank you for tuning in. I hope all of you are ready to be blown away by our special guest this evening. So let me introduce her. She is an international recording artist, singer, dancer, songwriter, and performer. She is well known and well loved in the devotional world music scene, yoga and conscious living, and the metaphysical communities. She currently tours the globe sharing her art and her message of peace with all her fans. Her music blends ancient mantras, English lyrics, angelic vocals, and dance grooves that make you want to move your body. Her most recent release, Universal Light, hypnotizes the soul and propels listeners into a state of bliss. Of course, I am talking about Donna De Lory. So thank you for taking your time out of such busy touring schedule to be with us tonight. Donna De Lory, welcome to the Tarot Journey.
It's great to be here with you. I hope you can hear me fine. I decided to switch over to my cell phone so then I can, when I play live, it'll just be a little easier to put it down on my piano when I sing. If that's okay with you.
Oh, that sounds great.
Great.
Thanks again. And
it's great to be here with you.
Oh, thank you. I know I did a very abbreviated introduction because there is so much that can be said about you. Is there anything that you would like to add to introduce yourself to some listeners who are just hearing you for the first time?
Wow. I love what you said. I can add to that I'm an independent artist. I write music, record it, produce it, and release it myself. And I work with different distribution channels, but I'm so inspired by this time when we can be independent artists and get our music out there to the world. And it's an incredible journey, and I feel just really empowered, and to have people like you to reach out and want to feature me and interview me, and so it's a great pleasure to be here with you.
Oh, you are truly welcome. You are an honored special guest, and that's really awesome to know that more deeply about your music, that you are an independent artist, that you write, produce, and distribute it all yourself. Wow. You really do it all.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a long ways from when I I used to be many years ago, 20 years ago, signed with MCA Universal. So I went down that road, and that was part of my journey of just finding my way. And I ended up finding my way to this music that is my bliss. So I'm following my bliss now.
Beautiful. And I had read that in one of your published interviews that this music is your bliss, and I just think that's awesome. It's a great marriage for what you do and what we do here on Star Nations Radio. So, again, thank you for being our guest.
Mm-hmm.
And I need to give a big shout-out to your assistant, Amanda Nagel. She has been instrumental in helping put together this evening and so gracious to answer all of my questions and my emails. And so it's a real testament to you, Donna, to have such an amazing staff who
Oh, thank you so much.
You've got great caliber of folks working with you because you're a great caliber artist. So
thank you.
I want to say that. And I want to tell the listeners to make sure you go to donnadelory.com before you log off this evening. And we've got that in the chat room, www.donnadelory.com. There you will find music reviews. You will find her work, her CDs, and you can listen to Donna Radio. So you can hear some of these tracks, and you're going to hear some live tonight, and you can find out her tour schedule where she is going to be. Now, Donna, I recently saw on your Facebook fan page that you've been jet-setting around the country to do some recording. Does that mean there's something new in the works?
Yeah, I'm working on more. I'm always working on songs. And there's a woman named Nikki Harris who I sang accompanying vocals with Madonna with for many years. Her and I are doing a duet project. So we were in Nashville and we were recording Ben Harper cover actually. So it's all in English. It's not, it's kind of back to my roots because I grew up partly in Nashville with my father, and so it was amazing to go back to Nashville, and I was so attracted to that music scene as a teenager. I just wanted to immerse myself in it. So there I was on Music Road doing vocals with Nikki in the studio. It was just a couple weeks ago. It was really beautiful. So she lives in Augusta in Georgia, so it was a nice place for us to meet. So I'm working on that, and I think that'll be out. We're going to release one song in a couple, maybe 2 to 3 weeks, and we'll be doing more songs, and then I'll be working on more solo music as always, and that'll be out next year.
Fantastic. Yeah, Nashville is just down the road from me, so I saw that and I was like, oh, she's coming close to me. I can go see her, but it's great that you were in the studio and getting ready to get some of that music out there. Now, I saw a clip of you on YouTube at the Agape. It was you and Nikki doing Be the Change and Kinder, your beautiful a cappella version that is on the Unchanging album, doing that duet. That was lovely.
Yeah, we have such a history, and it's amazing to sing with her. I love singing with great singers. And it's just such a pleasure. So that's exciting. It's an exciting project. I feel I did a lot of dates in the last couple months, so it's kind of a nice time right now to kind of reflect. And I've got 2 children, so I'm getting ready for holidays and family coming into town. And I love this time of year when the weather changes, not too drastically because I'm in California, but the wind comes and it's fall, and we have a little bit of fall. And it's so nice.
Now, you weren't affected by these recent mudslides, were you? I don't know my geography in California very well.
No, I live in the Santa Monica Mountains, and if you go up from the ocean, the road you go up, it's between Santa Monica and Malibu. So that area is beautiful here. We were not affected by the slides or anything, so that was good.
Good news. I wanted to ask you a little bit about some of your early background. You talked about living in Nashville and going back to your musical roots. So, and I've heard other interviews and read that you said that at an early age you knew that you wanted to sing, and you do come up from a musical family. But I wanted to ask you about in school, in grade school and high school, were your musical ambitions encouraged? Did you have teachers and counselors who were supportive and promoting your singing and dancing?
I remember a dance teacher that was really supportive. The thing is that everyone knew, from the time I was 8 years old, I was singing professionally, so everyone knew that I did that. When I would be in the school bus riding to school, my voice would come on a commercial that was on the radio. And we would get taken out of school sometimes to go to TV specials, and everyone knew I did that. So I think it was just a given. They knew that I came from a musical family. My dad used to come into the school and play for everyone in elementary school. And I got a lot of support, of course, from my family, but I also was in a singing group that taught us, sight reading, and we were playing the recorder. I remember that group. They were very supportive of just at an early age I could sing, and my sister sang before me, who was 8 years older than me. She sang, I just had this memory today because she sang on a Carpenter's record. And I remember being so little, and she was going to do the session, that song, Sing a song, sing it loud, sing it strong. And I was so little, and I remember thinking, why can't I go and sing on that song?
Oh, wow.
And I felt like I should, as a little kid, feeling like I should be there singing on that record right now. But my older sister was going because she was old enough to do it, So that was really funny. That I felt like I should be there. And that was even younger than that was earlier than 8 years old, so when I did start singing professionally. So, I was blessed to have a father that was a producer and arranger, and he was a great example to me, and I'm blessed to have had a parent that was so passionate about what they did, and it rubbed off on me in a big way.
That's awesome. Yes, I read that he was a producer for Glenn Campbell and the Beach Boys, and he played on in the movie studios and those orchestras. So he really did it all.
Yeah, he did do it all. He was playing with the big bands when he was a teenager because my grandfather was a musician with the Warner Brothers Orchestra, and he was signed on he was on contract to play on movies like Casablanca and Gone with the Wind, and he had an amazing career, and he raised my father to be a musician. And what happened was, when I was a little kid, my father didn't do that with me. He never disciplined me to play music, and it was all from me. It was all my passion. And I did it, I had to really ask my dad if I could sing on his songs and on his records, and it was really just all of it really came from me, and of course having that influence helped in a big way.
That's awesome. How old were you when you were singing It's a Small World? Because I don't know if our listeners know that Donna's voice is featured in the Disneyland and Disney World It's a Small World ride. When you're in the boat and you're going around to all the different little world scenes, you hear Donna over the loudspeakers. How old were you when you did that?
I don't know. I'm probably 9. I mean, I was pretty small. That was a group of us in the singing group. We did so many things. We did like Kodak commercials and airline commercials, and that was another job we did. And I didn't realize how long it was going to be in there. And a few years ago, I was with my daughter going through the ride, and I was like, I think that's us. I think that's us singing. And it kind of sounded like an old recording. And then they redid the ride, so I don't know if they still are using it. I hope so, because they play the different recordings in all different languages and everything. So, yeah, that's my big claim to fame.
Well, it's just
but it is a small
your many
world.
claims to fame.
Yeah,
so that's
exactly.
neat to experience that with your daughter. That's awesome.
Yeah. Well, she didn't really get it. She was probably 4 years old or something. She's like, what?
Oh.
I'm like, that's me singing. And she's like, you're one of the dolls?
Oh, how sweet.
It's like, which doll? Isn't that cute?
Oh, that is sweet. That's sweet.
I know. I get so much, I get so much inspiration from being a mom, and it's incredible.
Now, are your daughters finding their way into music, or are they coming to it on their own?
I have one daughter who's 12, Sophia, and she plays the clarinet. She's really talented. She definitely has the ear and the talent for it. She has other things she wants to do, and she says to me, I'm not going to be a musician. She knows that it's interesting, she knows that about herself, like I knew I wanted to do this. So I honor that. And then my daughter who's 6, Luciana, I think she loves to sing. At this age she's very shy. So we'll see what happens. we'll just keep continuing being, doing what I do, and we'll see if she wants to do that. And I keep asking, do you want to take piano lessons? Do you want to take, dance? So I'm just waiting for her to speak up and say what she wants to do.
Well, that's great. I'd like to ask you about your musical creation process. How new songs are born within you? Are they like seeds that you plant and then you grow them and it matures, or is the song already formed within you and you just tap into that?
Well, sometimes, it's amazing. I get a lot of song melodies in my dreams. That's one way. Sometimes it's so funny. I'll wake up in the middle of the night and I'm so tired. And I know if I wake up and really get into a song, I'm not going to go back to sleep. So I always have to see, is this good enough to wake myself up?
Oh, wow.
And sometimes it'll come out like, there's one that's, inspire my soul, inspire my soul, you inspire my soul. That came out in a dream. I haven't written that yet, but it's like a little thing. And I'll put it down on my phone, and I've got tons of these. And a lot of times I don't ever go back and really finish them, but I'll have them on my phone. And if if it really stands out and I remember it, I'll make it into a song. Or I'm going through something, sometimes the song will, relating to that, to kind of help me as a tool, will come through, and maybe I can write that. But I have so many songs that I'm trying to finish right now. Sometimes they come out, it's a feeling, and maybe it's inspired from a relationship or a mantra that I love, I'll put it to music. And then there'll be some English words that go along with it that I just feel are just natural to put with the mantra, which is kind of like my own translation of it, what it means to me. And that's why I started singing mantras. There was always English that went along with it. There's no one way. I just feel I love all of the creativity. I love co-writing with people. I love doing covers now, like singing someone else's song and making it my own. That's a really fun process, and changing the arrangement, and maybe sometimes the melody. I just love it all. I was recently asked to do this Lole event in New York City for 10,000 people doing yoga, and I was playing during the class, and last minute they said, well, we don't want words. We don't want words in any language. And I was like, including English? They didn't want that. They wanted this kind of universal sound of music with the yoga class. So it was kind of challenging because I thought, how am I going to cue my band? But we came up with this whole other thing. We just improvised, and I came up with different melodies, and I used my voice in a different way. And it was a great opportunity. I thought, wow, I should make a record like this.
Oh, that sounds awesome.
Yeah, and I feel no matter what I'm doing, I put it's that love for what I'm doing. It's into it, and that connection. And I just feel like I connect with spirit the most when I'm with music.
Well, it really does. Well, it really does come through when you are singing. When I see these clips that are posted on YouTube of your performances, the spirit within your music is singing right along with your voice. So when I said introducing you saying angelic vocals, that is so true.
Yeah, that is something that people say the most, I would say, is you have the voice of an angel. Yeah. And it's taken me years to get to this place. I remember years ago trying to be, pop rock singer, and there was one producer I worked with who used to tell me that I had such a beautiful voice and I should just, mellow out a little bit and stop, trying to be Janis Joplin and embrace what the gift I had with my voice. And it's nice to be able to do that.
Yes, and you really listen to, it sounds to me that you listen to your intuition when you are performing. Even the recorded music, like I was jamming to Praying for Love from the Unchanging album as I was driving over to the studio this evening. You make everything your own. Do you have a musical practice or a discipline that you say, okay, for 2 hours in the morning I'm going to sit down at the piano or the harmonium and I'm going to play a little bit and I'm going to develop some of these ideas on my phone, or do you just let it come in a different way?
I usually, I should have that discipline, and I was, when I have an event coming up, I'm more disciplined on playing. I have a piano, baby grand piano. I'll play that, or if I'm getting ready to record a song, I'll really work out the arrangement. But I feel like there's always music in me, and it's going through my head, and it's, I do want to have more discipline with that, for sure. I've always been like, when I get inspired, I'll do it. But when you're trying to finish a record, you have to or a certain project, you have to have the discipline and pull it together. And I do that when I'm working on a project. Right now, I have all these songs. I'm not sure how many are going to go on the album. I'm not sure. I'm kind of just waiting to get the whole picture and kind of the theme of it, and then go with that.
Good.
Yeah.
That's
but I have. It's exciting. Some new things that I've been playing in front of audiences that people love. So I can't wait to get those put down and everything. And I'm my own record company, so I do it when I can invest in it and when I have the time. And I'm also a mom, so I have 2 kids, and I'm trying to be there for my music and for my children and family. So in the best way I can right now. So yeah, I'm going to work on that 2 hours a day. That sounds good. 2 hours every morning.
So I want to tell our listeners to check out your music videos. They're out on YouTube for The Unchanging, that title track to her 2013 album, The Unchanging, and also The Sky is Open from her 2006 album. Sky is Open. I love hearing that live, and the video of that I really feel the spirit of that. So can you tell us about the creative process of making those videos? Do you have a visual idea about your songs as you're recording them, when you're writing the music and the lyrics, and then when you're preparing to film those videos, what's that creative process like? How long does that take?
Well, Nick Spanos, who's a dear friend who's done a lot of my pictures and photos over the years, I had him come to a band rehearsal one day in my guest house where I had my studio set up, and I wanted to capture the energy between myself and the musicians I work with, and we were talking about just sharing, my life and my studio I work in, and then going out into nature where I walk every day. And so we knew that's where it was going to be. And then it was his idea to have me singing into the mic with candles, and he had a lot of ideas, but it was so personal. And then the other one you're referring to, that was Sky is Open, and my daughter was in it when she was very young, running with me. And I love all the shots that he does. His editing is every shot is so beautiful. Every shot could be a picture. So I really love what he does. And then The Unchanging, we decided to do it in Boston. I have a dear friend, Samantha, who lives there, and I wanted to go visit her. And it was a lot of fun. She was pregnant at the time, and she was helping us out, and we just went around town, all my favorite places, and it was springtime. So it was just a beautiful time, and capturing a certain feeling that I always had about Boston, and that was The Unchanging. And once again, the director had ideas about where he wanted to go to the ocean and certain shots he wanted. So it all just came together. We wanted to do something inside. where I was playing the piano, and a friend of mine gave me this beautiful studio recommendation. I called, and they had it to time open. It was really nice. So it was great. It's so much fun. The process is so fun.
I love when things like that come together.
Yeah, it all came together, and the fact that my friend was there helping, and she was like almost about to have her twins, and it was just a lot of fun. It was freezing though. When we were outside, it was freezing, and that was a little bit challenging because you're trying to be all relaxed and everything, but it's really cold. But it was a lot of fun.
So over how many days did that process last? This is the closest I'm ever going to get to do music videos, so I'm going to ask all those, fun questions about it. And how many times do you sing the songs as you're filming those?
This is really funny. We actually he just carries around like a old CD player, like a ghetto blaster, and I would just sing to that many, many times until the director felt like we had all the shots. And at each setup, I would sing the song many times. And then he does this thing where he speeds up the song. He does it ahead of time, so I sing it really fast. And it's like, you'll see the sky is open now so you can fly away. And I had to sing it and memorize, lip sync it to this fast version, but then it has this really great effect when you slow the film down. And he used that in the Sky is Open video, and that was pretty funny. And we did that a little bit on The Unchanging, but really was more on Sky is Open video. It was, we had a small budget. It was just one day. We got together and did it. That's it. And I think when I do, Nikki and I, we shot some documentary footage for the song we're going to release. We just did that in one day, just a few hours. That for the kind of videos I'm making, that's enough time. And editing is very expensive, and, I don't have the budget to spend that much at this point. So it's nice. It's a nice flow, and it's nice to work with the person who's shooting it and actually does the editing as well. That's really nice because they were there and they know the spirit, and, of that time, what was going on in the room, and then they can edit it that way and capture that.
Well, I know we really appreciate these backstories, the behind-the-scenes look at these. So listeners, definitely check those out. The Unchanging video and Sky is Open from Donna De Lory. You can find those on YouTube. Now, when
and you also...
Yeah.
Oh, I was going to say, you also had referenced before Kinder from Agape when I was singing with Nikki Harris. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Another one to check out on my YouTube channel.
Definitely. Now, when was that recorded, the Agape?
Oh, I think that was in the last couple of years, maybe 2 years ago.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Check out her YouTube channel. Now, we were just talking a few minutes ago about you getting into the cover songs and making them your own. I wanted to ask you about your rendition of Amazing Grace. It is so soulful and mesmerizing, and, of course, those angelic vocals. And you recorded it for the Bliss album and then rearranged it and did beautiful things for the Unchanging album. So can you tell us about the process of making that very traditional hymn your own?
Yeah, that came out first time I started singing over a cellist I was working with was playing a Bach piece, and I started singing Amazing Grace over it. We were at, actually Nikki Harris had a really bad accident. We were in the hospital with her singing, doing prayer circles and playing music and trying to lift her spirits, and that just came out one night. And it was really so beautiful, and it was so perfect. And we were just improvising. And then after that, it became a piece that we did in our repertoire. So I would play harmonium, and he would play cello, and we would play at places like Agape, New Thought churches. Of course, that song is so spiritual to people. We had our own way of doing it. And then that song just stayed with me, of course, because people always wanted to hear it. So over the years, I put it to a groove, try a 6/8 groove underneath it, and and it just evolved and had a different life, being more of an rhythmic kind of piece. So I wanted to really capture that, and I put it on that record. And I felt like it went with the group of songs on The Unchanging. And I love that piece. I love when, I'm not prepared to play it, and people at so many concerts want to hear that. It's really beautiful. So I either do it just with the harmonium, or I'll do it, if the drummer knows the groove, we'll do it over the drum groove.
It is beautiful. And to me, it is the only version of Amazing Grace. That's the one that comes to my mind as I'm thinking of Amazing Grace. And you have a fan here in the chat room, my friend Kelly Spencer from Minnesota, who's saying in the chat room that she loves your version of Amazing Grace with 3 exclamation points. So you're really making impact there. And everyone, you can find this song on iTunes and the Google Play Store. So go out and grab that, definitely. And so I'd like to ask you, Donna, if you would be comfortable to share some of your music live with us, a couple songs, and give us a little more of that behind the scenes of those songs.
Yeah, well, I don't know if you can hear this. I'm playing my Wurlitzer. It's actually from the 1960s. This is not the same. It's the same model that my father played on Beach Boys records. And it's not the same exact Wurlitzer because I bought this off of a dealer. But I saw a picture of my dad playing with the Wrecking Crew in this movie, and he was playing the same model that I'm playing right now. This is a Loka Samasta Sukhi no Bhavantu. I had learned this from teachings on Swami Satchidananda. I don't know, it just resonated with me. I love the sound of the words. A lot of times I'll hear a mantra and I don't know what it means, but just the sound of the words really touches me deeply, and I want to make a song out of it. And then Sharon Gannon, who's a dear, dear teacher, beautiful humanitarian, she uses this mantra a lot in her teachings. And basically, when I go into the English, it's the translation of the mantra. So tell me if you can hear this keyboard. Can you hear that?
It sounds great, yes.
Okay. Loka samasta sukhino bhavantu. Loka samasta sukhino bhavantu. And may all things be happy and free. And may our lives be a gift to this happiness and freedom for all. For all we are one. We are all God's children. I'm holding the phone with one hand. I'm playing with my right hand. You can hear okay?
Yes, it sounds lovely. Thank you.
Yeah, and I'm trying to think of the other one. You're talking about, well,
yes?
what was the other one? You were requesting another one, or?
What would you think about a little of your Amazing Grace?
Oh, okay. Let me see if I can put this phone down for a second.
Okay.
If this works. Amazing grace, how sweet the sound that saved a soul like me. I once was lost, but now but now I see amazing grace, amazing grace. I was blind, but now I am free. I was so blind, but now I Hey, try not to play too loud because I don't want to disturb the
That was so beautiful. In the chat room, they're saying that chills and waves of energy, just lovely, and clap, 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 and
I'm a little hoarse. I'm getting over this cold, but
and bravo and goosebumps, and hearing her live brings me to tears. And Neshi is saying Meg Witch means thank you. Thank you, Donna. So you have lots of fans here on the Blog Talk chat room.
So sweet. Thank you.
Thank you so much. This is really an incredible evening of music and spirituality, and you blessing us with song. And we have more of that for our listeners. So we have some winners of some Donna De Lory albums this evening. So because we have so many folks on the phone lines and in the chat room, I'm going to open this up and say that we are giving away 2 of the Unchanging album, along with an autographed postcard picture of Donna, and 2 Universal Light. So we're giving away 4 different albums. So we're going to have 4 different winners this evening, and everyone will get an autographed picture postcard of Donna. So for the first 4 folks who email me at thetarotjourney@gmail.com, I'm going to get that into the chat room. Oh, Lily already does. Thank you. thetarotjourney@gmail.com. The first 4 folks, you are our winners tonight. And you are going to want to definitely do that right after the broadcast. So we're going to start it at right after the broadcast, and the first 4 people who email will get those copies. So I want to also take this opportunity to tell people about a little more of your full background. You talked about seeing commercials when you were 8 years old, and you were writing your own music in high school and recording albums in the early 90s, and had pop hits. You had pop hits, and you spent 20 years touring with Madonna, singing and performing with her right alongside her. When you're going all around the world, and the touring schedule that you have now, when you're going all around the world playing your music or with another artist, how do you find the comforts of home, and how do you stay connected to your foundation of home when you're traveling?
Well, I really have to have time, extra time built in to take care of myself and to do all the things I do at home, whether it's meditating or drinking my green tea, doing yoga, stretching. I've learned that over the years, and it's a lot easier when I don't have to go to a different city every day and play in a different place every night. That's really tough because it's just so not natural, and you start forgetting where you are and everything. It gets a little confusing. I find the most challenging thing about touring is sleep for me. And I just, I have this certain meditation I do where I think of this I go to this comfort place one of the places is in my grandmother's arms, actually. I just think of my Nana and that that comforting touch. And, I have certain just tools I have to kind of make me feel at home. That's my home. That's with me always in my heart, wherever I go. And then also, of course, connecting with my family, seeing the pictures. Anyone who's with them will be texting me pictures and talking to them, and always knowing what everyone's doing, what the kids are doing. A big thing also is just try to eat the same food that I usually eat. And now I started by carrying my own pillow with me. Now I carry my own pillow and sheets.
Oh.
And I'm thinking, I might just bring, an extra. I did this when I went to Brazil because I didn't know what the food was going to be like. I brought a whole bunch of superfoods with me, and I actually ate those a lot, and green powders and all kinds of things to stay strong and healthy. I'm really into nutrition and, of course, being as healthy as possible. So that comes along with me now, too, my green matcha powder and seaweed and things like that. So that helps. I definitely miss home when I'm away, but my soul is so filled by doing the music and connecting with people that it's I can't imagine one without the other.
Now, I've also seen on your Facebook fan page you grow your own food as well. Is that right?
Yeah, I'm really blessed. My husband is a really great organic gardener, farmer, and he's also an integrative doctor, and that's a big part of what he teaches his patients is nutrition and connecting with food and the earth and everything. So we have a great piece of land with a lot of fruit trees and different kinds of lettuces. My favorite is arugula because we planted it years ago and it just grows wild all over the place now. It's I always dreamed of having a life like this where I could grow our own food and live off the land. We don't live off of it completely, but it's really nice to just go out in the morning and kind of graze on some pomegranates and some sugar snap peas and some lettuce. It's so beautiful, and I wish everyone could have that experience and to connect with our Mother Earth and our food that way.
Oh, I agree. I agree wholeheartedly to really know what you're putting in your body. And, the Chinese say food is medicine, and I'm sure your husband might agree with that it's the nutrition and the dietary that will supplement any other practices for your health.
Absolutely. So I'm really lucky that I manifested this relationship and his. I have so much. We share the same values in so many ways, and about our health and even more awareness. I as aware as I think I am of my body, there's even more to be and more to learn. And I try to teach that to my children.
That's beautiful. Thank you for sharing that.
Yeah.
You were just talking about the arms of your grandmother, and that is one of the places that brings you home to have your foundation when you're on the road. And that got me thinking, and so I flipped over to the lyric sheet for The Unchanging. And I did want to ask you about this. I was thinking about it. There, in the bridge, I think it is, the lyrics are, "On this path I can see this red rock beneath our feet." So I wanted to ask you about that lyric because that lyric is pretty special to the Star Nations community. There is a large part of Star Nations that are Native American, and they talk about walking the red road. So I wanted to ask you about that lyric, this red rock. If you can tell us a little bit about how that came about.
Well, that's interesting. That the path that I'm talking about is not far from my house right now. It's so interesting. There's a park. It's a hiking trail that goes up to the top of the mountain. It's called Red Rock.
Oh.
Now, I've been going to I've been going to that place for years. Before I lived here, that was my getaway place where I went to Red Rock. I had so many things happen to me on that path. One thing that happened to me on that path was I got hit by a tree. And It was pretty major. I mean, it was a windy day. I was with my old boyfriend trying to break up with him, and I couldn't get the words out. And I just, all this energy was stirring, and all of a sudden this tree, I just hear, and this tree's coming down on me. And it hit my back and the top of my head, and it kind of cut part of my face a little bit. And I thought it was like a sign to wake me up out of that relationship. So that happened, and I walked away. I was fine. It was a huge miracle, but it was a big wake-up call. And then on that path, I had later on gotten pregnant with a boyfriend, and we had been I told him on that path, and we had this whole exchange where he was telling me that he didn't really want to be involved. So this was so, and my husband now proposed to me on that path.
Oh,
so,
wow.
So much, and more, even more went on, but that was like my place to get centered. Yeah, I could just keep walking, and my place to be steady, no matter what was going on, the drama in my life. And so it's kind of, the song relates to that, me walking on that path and staying steady no matter what's happening, identifying with something that's so much greater than this body right now, and that is unchanging, that'll never die. And being able to witness that. And it's hard when you're young and you're learning. I mean, you just get so caught up in your own drama, especially a breakup and feeling abandoned again.
Yeah.
Or even the getting hit by the tree, I almost died. Whatever it was. I was later on listening to Deepak Chopra. I was doing an event with him, and he said something like, these roles, I play all of these roles, but I'm not these roles that I'm playing. And
how profound.
Something like, this is like, in this life, like I play these roles, but that's not who I am. And that really resonated with me. I wrote that down, and I was like, so that song to me is that. And then in the remix version, there's a Anandamayi Ma quote that is, it's like, I'll try to play this for you. So it says,
great.
I just love this. Turn it down a little bit. Though the dance of creation changes around me, in the halls of eternity, I shall remain the same. In this dream, in this dream. So that quote also was summed up the meaning of the whole song for me. Though the dance of creation changes around me, in the halls of eternity I shall remain the same. And then in that song I'm talking about I shall be the unchanging. And I just love that. I always love that Eastern philosophy of talking about being the witness to what's happening instead of being something that's happening to you. You're witnessing it. And then you're not identified with it, and you're not so attached to it. So it's an interesting perspective,
That is beautiful. Thank you so much for sharing that and playing that on there. And so how can people get the unchanging? Where do they find that? How do they go to get your music?
Well, there's you can go right through my site. It'll take you to either Amazon or CD Baby, which is physical distribution, or digital, but it's up on iTunes. If you go to my site and go to the music page, you'll see it. I'm holding on to all these roots, and it's like a blue cover, and you'll see it. And it's it's so amazing. A fellow composer that I work with told me, he emailed me, said that yesterday morning he was in a yoga class and the teacher played that album from start to finish. And I respect his work and his musicianship, and he was complimenting me on how great the record sounded. And he's like, there wasn't a weak song in the bunch. And it was so sweet that a teacher played that from start to finish.
That's awesome.
Yeah, because I do consider that making records if I've got that in mind. That a lot of people do yoga and practice and meditate to my music, so I think of that wave and that the flow that I want to happen. Because I take a lot of classes and I appreciate a really good flow of music.
That is awesome. What a great compliment. That says it all about your musicianship and your spirit, what you give to people. That's lovely. That's just so wonderful.
Yeah. It was so beautiful that he reached out like that and took the time, you know. I appreciate that, us, you know, reaching out to one another and letting us know how much we appreciate each other. It's really important.
Well, I can say that you have many, many new fans here in the Star Nations community. Meg is saying in the chat room, wow, Donna, you're so gifted, mind, body, spirit, and song. And she's excited to purchase your music. She says, spiritual magic. And I say, yep, I'm nodding over here on the other end. Yes, definitely, spiritual magic. Thank you for sharing that with us. So I've got another question to ask a little bit about touring. So are your fans pretty respectful of your personal space, or do you have any kind of scary fan experiences that someone's getting a little too close or a little too nosy or lurking around? And how did you handle those?
You know, that it helps having an assistant for that, because sometimes if somebody comes up to me and gives me something and they'll say, like, I want, whatever it is, it helps to have someone else who can help out and kind of help to the communication. If I'm feeling that it's a little strange in a way. But it doesn't really ever, it hardly ever happens. And even I think about, like, back in the Madonna days when I started going out and doing my own shows, even the fans that she had, like, restraining orders against, you know, they all came to my show. They were all there. New York City, they were all there. And they had, like, nicknames that she, you know, referred to them as. And I knew about these people, but they were so sweet. And, you know, I think I was a lot more accessible to them, so they were fine with me. And I never felt comfortable with people, like, coming up, and I still don't. I mean, coming up to me and, like, they're shaking and they can't really talk, and they're like, oh my God, I'm so nervous. And I'm like, all I want to do is make you feel good. All I want to do is make you feel, you know, like we're one, you know, it's a two-way street, you know. The person who's playing, the person who's receiving, and it's all the same. And I'm not anything greater than you. I mean, we're all the same. So I want to, through my music, put out that message, and I want people to feel that. So I just feel I want to just calm them down. I just, like, sometimes rub their arm and say, it's okay, calm down, it's okay. You know, you don't have to be so nervous. It's just me, I'm another person, just like you. And I think the whole, you know, referring back to, like, my past and being with Madonna, I think that I never was comfortable with that, like people worshiping me, you know, being on stage and idolizing and everything. I just want to put a whole different message. Not that she purposely puts out that message at all, but people sometimes interpret it that way. But I want to just make people feel comfortable with me, and I've made so many friends, and it's just so beautiful to see the same people coming back when I go back to the city or town, and we become friends, you know. And I'll talk about, I'm working on new songs. I can't wait for you to hear them. And sometimes there'll be 5 Rhythms dance teachers, and I'll say, hey, I'm going to send you some roughs of what I'm doing. I want to get your input. You know, so I love that interaction and that input from people that love my music, because that's why I'm here. That's why I'm doing it, to give this gift.
And people can feel your openness. So thank you for being so open and being who you are. Really wonderful. We've had such a full night of music and the mysteries with Donna. We're so thankful for you being with us, Donna. And this is a dream come true for me to interview my favorite artist and to share that with my Star Nations listeners. And So we've got another treat for everybody. Must stay tuned. Donna was gracious enough to provide us a recorded track tonight, and she's going to take us out on a very high note. This is from the Unchanging album. So before I turn it over to you, Donna, to introduce this track for us, I want to say thank you, everyone, for listening tonight. And I always close my shows. You don't know this. I close my shows with Om Shanti. May the peace that surpasses all human understanding go with all of you. And so that's how I close my show. And we're going to be listening here to Be the Change from Donna De Lory. So what can you tell us about this song from the Unchanging album?
Oh, this was a really fun creation that came about when I was playing with the cellist. I was working with Cameron Stone and Dave Allen on drums. We were in Arizona playing, and we just started jamming on this groove. It's like a hip-hop groove. And I've been so moved by the teachings of Gandhi. And I love his one of his teachings, which is be the change you want to see in the world. And as a teenager, I used to read that, loved it. And I wanted the whole song to kind of talk about that and talk about how there's one truth in many paths, and every different path has a different way of saying it, and to get to the essence of the truth and the intention beneath each and in each path, and realize that it's all one message, it's all one longing to connect with spirit and to find this peace.
I love that. And the lyrics are, we're talking about one love, one blood, one light in everyone. Aren't those beautiful lyrics, everyone? Be the change you want to see in the world. So you are going to be grooving to this tune. Donna, again, it has been my great pleasure to visit with you and share your beautiful music with the listeners, and your beautiful spirit, your angelic vocals, and your open heart. You're just so open and warm, and thank you so much. Thank you for producing tonight, Lily, and any final words that you would like to close us out with, Donna, before we play your beautiful track?
I want to say how thankful I am to talk to you and for all the support. All the support really gives me the inspiration to keep making music. And I'll probably be waking up tomorrow morning playing my piano.
Oh, wonderful.
And thank you for, allowing me to share my joy with so many people.
You are so welcome. So, Lily, we're going to take us out with Be the Change from Donna De Lory. Thank you, everyone, for listening to the Tarot Journey this evening.
Let's do it together. today. Everybody's talking about consciousness. Everybody wants that eternal kiss. Yeah, everyone's saying there's more than this. Everyone wants to follow their own bliss. Talking about one love, one blood, one light in everyone. One life, give each other. We are sisters and brothers. We sing Om Shanti 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 Shanti. 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 Shanti, 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 shanti. Can be the day. Om shanti, 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 shanti. In the world. Om shanti, 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 shanti. In the world. Om shanti, 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 shanti. Time to wake up. Shanti, shanti, brighter day. Realize that shanti, shanti, love is the way. Om shanti, 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 shanti. Let's do it together. Shanti, shanti, shanti.
We hope you enjoyed this edition of The Tarot Journey with Julie Hedges on the Star Nations Radio Network.